Welcome into the presence of your own true being. Today we embark on a journey that is not measured in miles or kilometers, but in the depth of your own realization. We are here to uncover the sovereign self, the part of you that has been waiting patiently behind the noise and the confusion of the daily world. You may have asked yourself many times why life seems like such a struggle, or why you feel like you are constantly fighting against the current of events. The answer lies in a secret chamber of your mind that very few people ever visit and even fewer learn to master. That chamber is the architecture of silence. When I speak of silence, I do not merely refer to the absence of sound or the lack of spoken words, for you can lock yourself in a soundproof room at the bottom of the ocean and still be deafened by the clamor of your own thoughts. No, the silence I speak of is a profound inner quietude, a stillness of the mind's incessant chatter, and a cessation of the doubts, the arguments, and the fears that so often plague our consciousness like a swarm of locusts. This silence is the fertile soil of creation. Without it, your desires are like seeds thrown onto concrete where they are scorched by the sun and eaten by the birds. But within this silence, the seed of your desire finds the darkness and the moisture it needs to break open and become a living reality. We must understand that the mind in its natural, unruly state is like a crowded marketplace. There are 1,000 voices screaming for your attention. There is the voice of the memory reminding you of your past failures. There is the voice of fear telling you what might go wrong tomorrow. There is the voice of reason arguing that your dreams are illogical and impossible. And amidst this cacophony, you try to plant a new idea, a new desire. Is it any wonder that the desire fails to take root? It is trampled by the noise. To become the architect of your reality, you must first clear the construction site. You must silence the marketplace. This silence is the canvas upon which we paint the masterpiece of our desires. If the canvas is already covered in scribbles and chaotic lines, you cannot paint a clear image. You must wipe the canvas clean. This cleaning process is what we call entering the silence. Imagine, if you will, a tranquil lake at dawn. The air is absolutely still and there is not a breath of wind. The surface of the water is mirror smooth. It is so still that it reflects the vast sky above in perfect clarity. You can see every cloud, every star, and every shade of blue reflected in the water without distortion. This lake is your mind in true silence. In this state, the thoughts you choose to entertain and the images you decide to hold are reflected with astounding power and precision into the vast universe of creation. The universe receives the image clearly and reflects it back to you as your physical experience. But now imagine that a wind picks up, the wind of anxiety or the wind of anger. The surface of the lake begins to ripple. The image of the sky becomes distorted. The stars are broken into jagged lines of light. The clouds become confused shapes. If you look into the lake now, you cannot see the truth of the sky. You can only see a broken, fragmented version of it. This is the state of the average human mind. It is agitated by the winds of the senses and the storms of emotion. And because the mind is distorted, the world it reflects is distorted. You look at your life and you see broken relationships and fragmented finances and shattered health. These are not independent facts of life. They are the reflections of a disturbed lake. To heal your world, you do not try to smooth out the water with your hands, for that only creates more ripples. You must wait for the wind to die down. You must enter the silence. But how does one achieve this silence in a world that is screaming for your attention and demanding your energy? It is not through force and it is not through struggle. Most people try to silence their minds by fighting their thoughts. They grit their teeth and say, "I will not think negative thoughts." But this effort only creates more noise. It adds the tension of conflict to the noise of the mind. You cannot fight the mind into submission any more than you can smooth rough water by hitting it with a stick. Instead, the silence is achieved through gentle awareness. It is the conscious decision to observe your thoughts without judgment. You become the watcher on the bank of the river. You watch the debris of your thoughts float by, but you do not jump into the river to catch them. You let them pass like clouds drifting across the sky. Do not cling to them and do not push them away. Simply be the sky. When you take the position of the observer, you disidentify from the noise. You realize that you are not the voice in your head, you are the one listening to the voice. This separation is the beginning of freedom. As you cultivate this inner silence, something miraculous happens. You begin to hear the whispers of your true self, the voice of your divine nature that has always been there, waiting patiently for you to listen. This voice, my friends, is the voice of God within you. For you are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are that force individualized and clothed in flesh and made manifest. But God speaks in whispers, not in shouts. The world shouts. The senses shout. The pain in your body shouts. The lack in your bank account shouts. But the Spirit whispers. It whispers of a possibility that transcends your current facts. It whispers of a health that exists despite the diagnosis. It whispers of a wealth that exists despite the debt. To hear this whisper, you must turn down the volume of the world. You must enter the closet of your mind and shut the door. The door you are shutting is the door of the five senses. You are refusing to see what the eye sees and hear what the ear hears, so that you can see what the imagination sees and hear what the heart speaks. This architecture of silence is not an escape from reality, it is an entry into the only true reality. We have been conditioned to believe that the hard physical world of facts and objects is the real world, and that our thoughts and feelings are just wispy epiphenomena that happen inside our skulls. But I tell you that the exact opposite is true. The physical world is the shadow. It is the echo, it is the footprint of a traveler who has already passed by. Your consciousness is the traveler. Your imagination is the cause. When you retreat into silence, you are moving from the world of effects to the world of causes. You are entering the control room of destiny. Most people live their lives trapped in the movie screen, trying to fight the shadows. They argue with the screen, they cry at the screen, they try to change the plot by yelling at the characters. But the mystic knows that to change the movie, you must go to the projection booth. The silence is the projection booth. It is where you change the film. Let us deepen our understanding of this disconnecting process. To enter the silence, you must disconnect from the world of Caesar. Caesar represents the established order, the facts of the day, the laws of commerce and biology and society. Caesar demands your tribute. He demands your attention. He says, look at the bills, look at the news, look at the wars. But you have a higher allegiance. Your allegiance is to the I am within. When you close your eyes and still your body, you are performing an act of rebellion against the tyranny of the senses. You are saying, I do not accept the evidence of my senses as final. I withdraw my attention from the problem so that I may focus it on the solution. This withdrawal of attention is the secret of power. Attention is the currency of the universe. Whatever you pay attention to grows. If you pay attention to the noise of the world, the noise grows. If you pay attention to the silence within, the power within grows. In this deep silence, you will find that your desires become crystal clear. Not the petty whims of the ego, which are usually born of fear and competition, but the deep longings of your soul. The ego wants things because it feels small and wants to be big. The soul wants things because it is big and wants to express its greatness. In the silence, you can tell the difference. The ego's desires feel frantic and urgent. The soul's desires feel quiet and inevitable. When you are in the silence, you are connecting with the pattern of perfection that was placed in you before the foundation of the world. You are remembering who you are. This remembrance is the foundation of all manifestation. You cannot build a skyscraper on a swamp. You must dig down to the bedrock. The bedrock is your identity as the operant power. The silence allows you to dig through the swamp of mass consciousness and find the solid rock of your own I am. Consider the nature of a seed. Before a seed can become a tree, it must be buried in the ground. It must be hidden from the light. It must be surrounded by silence and darkness. If you were to dig up the seed every hour to see if it was growing, you would kill it. It needs the silence to perform the miracle of transformation. Your assumption is the seed. Your mind is the soil. The silence is the condition required for growth. When you learn to be silent about your desires, when you learn to contain the energy rather than dissipating it in idle chatter, you are creating the pressure chamber where carbon turns into diamond. The world is full of people who talk about what they are going to do. They tell everyone their plans. They broadcast their intentions. And usually they accomplish nothing, because they have released the steam from the engine. They have spent the energy in words rather than in works. The sovereign self knows how to keep a secret. The sovereign self knows how to hold the vision in the sacred silence until it hardens into fact. This practice of silence also heals the fragmentation of your mind. We are often divided against ourselves. One part of us wants to succeed, but another part of us is afraid of failure. One part wants love, but another part feels unworthy. These warring factions create a noise that paralyzes us. In the silence, we bring these parts together. We soothe the fearful child within. We reassure the doubter. We bring the entire mind into a single point of focus. This is what the Bible means when it says, "If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." To make the eye single is to focus the attention on one thing to the exclusion of all else. It is to unify the consciousness. When you are in the silence, you are not a house divided against itself. You are a laser beam of intention, and a laser beam can cut through steel. Let us explore the sensation of this silence. It is not a dead emptiness. It is a living, vibrant fullness. It is a pregnant silence. It feels like the moment before a conductor raises his baton and the orchestra begins to play. It is full of potential. It is electric. When you touch this silence, you will feel a shift in your body. Your breathing will slow down. Your muscles will relax. The anxiety that sits in your chest will dissolve. You will feel a sense of expansion, as if you are becoming larger than your physical body. This is because you are withdrawing your consciousness from the limitations of the flesh and returning to your state as infinite awareness. In this state, you are not a person with problems, you are a presence with power. You are returning to your source. And from this source, anything is possible. Many people are afraid of silence. They are afraid to be alone with their thoughts. They constantly seek distraction. They turn on the television or scroll through their phones or call a friend because the silence feels empty and terrifying. They are afraid of what they might hear in the silence. They are afraid to face the emptiness of their own existence. But I tell you, do not be afraid. The emptiness is only the first layer. If you push through the boredom and the fear, you will find the treasure. You will find that you are not empty, you are full of God. You will find that you are never alone because the universe is within you. You must have the courage to face yourself. You must have the courage to turn off the distractions and sit with your own soul. It is only in the silence that you can know yourself. And until you know yourself, you cannot master your life. The architecture of silence requires you to build a sanctuary in your own mind. You can build this sanctuary anywhere. You can enter it while you are riding on a bus or waiting in line or sitting at your desk. It does not require a mountaintop or a cave. It requires a decision, the decision to turn inward. When the world is chaotic around you, you can step into your sanctuary and find immediate peace. You can say to the storm, "Peace, be still," and the storm inside you will obey. This gives you a tremendous advantage in life. While others are reacting to the chaos and losing their balance, you remain centered. You remain clear. You can make decisions from a place of wisdom rather than fear. You become the eye of the hurricane. The storm rages around you, but within you there is stillness. This silence is also the medium of telepathy and influence. When you are silent, your thought waves are more powerful. You can reach the minds of others more effectively in silence than you can with words. If you want to change someone's behavior towards you, do not argue with them. Arguments only reinforce the resistance. Go into the silence. Revise your concept of them. Speak to them in your mind. See them acting the way you want them to act. In the silence, there is no resistance. You can plant a thought in their mind and they will think it is their own. This is not manipulation, it is the law of oneness. We are all connected in the deep ocean of mind. When you drop a pebble in your silence, the ripples reach the shores of everyone you know. So use the silence to bless. Use it to heal. Use it to uplift. Now, as we prepare to move to the next phase of our masterclass, you must understand that silence is the prerequisite for assumption. You cannot assume a new state of consciousness while you are still reacting to the old one. You must first stop the wheel of the old machine before you can start the new one. Silence is the brake that stops the old momentum. It creates the space between stimulus and response. In that space, you have the freedom to choose. You can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to be a victor. You can choose to be poor, or you can choose to be rich. But without the silence, you have no choice. You are just a machine reacting to buttons being pushed. The silence gives you back your free will. It hands you the pen so you can write a new chapter. So I invite you now to commit to this practice. Do not just listen to these words and nod your head. You must do the work. Set aside time each day to practice silence. It does not have to be an hour. Start with 5 minutes. 5 minutes of absolute stillness. 5 minutes of watching your thoughts without engaging. 5 minutes of shutting the door on Caesar. In those 5 minutes, you will build a reservoir of power that will carry you through the day. You will begin to notice that you are less reactive, you are less stressed, you are more creative. Answers will come to you that you could not find by thinking. Solutions will appear that you did not plan. This is the intelligence of the silence working for you. Remember that you are the temple of the living God. The temple is a place of silence. It is a place of worship. Your imagination is the altar. Your desire is the offering. Do not desecrate the temple with the noise of worry and fear. Keep it holy. Keep it pure. Keep it silent. When you do this, you prepare the way for the miracle. You make straight the path for your desire to walk into your life. The architecture is sound. The foundation is laid. Now you must inhabit the structure. You must dwell in the silence, not as a visitor, but as a resident. This is your true home. This is where you were born, and this is where you will return. It is the Alpha and the Omega of your spiritual journey. As we conclude this exploration of silence, let the feeling of peace wash over you. Let the weight of the world drop from your shoulders. You do not have to carry it. In the silence, you realize that you are supported by a power that is infinite. You realize that there is nothing to fear. You realize that everything you need is already within you, waiting to be recognized. The world is just a mirror. If you want the reflection to smile, you must smile first. And you can only find that smile in the deep, quiet joy of your own being. So be still, be silent, and know that you are the power. You are the creator. You are the silence that speaks the world into existence. This is the first pillar of your sovereignty. Stand upon it, and you shall not be moved. From the deep stillness of the silence, we now move into the dynamic realm of action, but this is not the frantic physical action of the struggling man. It is the supreme psychological action of the awakened consciousness. We enter now into the law of assumption, which is the operating system of this universe, and we confront the great deception that has plagued humanity since the beginning of time, which is the illusion of loss. You have been taught to believe that when something is gone from your physical experience, whether it be money or health or a relationship or an opportunity, that it is lost forever. You have been conditioned to mourn your losses, to accept them as final, and to build a shrine to what used to be. But I tell you, with the absolute authority of spiritual law, that loss is impossible in a universe that is infinite and complete. Nothing is ever lost in the divine economy. What appears to be lost in the world of shadows is merely a movement of consciousness. It is a temporary withdrawal of your attention from a specific state. And because you are the operant power, you can return to that state or to a greater state at any moment you choose. To understand this, we must first grasp the law of assumption in its fullness. This law states that if you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption, it will harden into fact. It does not say if you are worthy, it will happen. It does not say if the economy is good, it will happen. It does not say if others agree, it will happen. It says if you assume it, it must happen. This is not a theory to be debated. It is a law to be tested. Just as the law of gravity pulls you down, regardless of your opinion about it, the law of assumption projects your inner state onto the screen of space, regardless of your doubt. Most people are using this law backward every single day. They assume the worst. They assume they will be rejected. They assume they will fail. They assume the pain will never go away. And the law, which is impersonal and faithful, brings them exactly what they have assumed. You are already a master manifester. You are just manifesting your fears instead of your desires. Now we must reverse the wheel. What does it mean to act as if you have nothing to lose? This is a phrase that terrifies the ego because the ego is built on the concept of possession and protection. The ego thinks I have this little pile of money and I must protect it, or I have this little bit of reputation and I must guard it. But the spirit knows that you are not the possessor of things, you are the creator of them. When you act as if you have nothing to lose, you are not being reckless, you are being limitless. You are standing in the knowledge that you are the source. If the source flows freely, why would you hoard the water? To act as if you have nothing to lose means to live from the end. It means to embody the state of your wish fulfilled with such conviction, such audacity that the world has no choice but to conform to your assumption. It means walking in the absolute knowing that what you desire is already yours. Not in some distant future, not someday when you are better or smarter, but here and now. Let us look deeply at the parable of the prodigal son, for it is the perfect psychological drama of this law. The son demands his inheritance and goes to a far country where he wastes it all on riotous living. He ends up feeding pigs, hungry and destitute. This represents you when you wander away from the knowledge of who you are. You go into the far country of believing in external causes. You waste your spiritual substance on fear and doubt. You end up feeding the pigs of negative thoughts. But then the scripture says, he came to himself. This is the moment of awakening. He remembered who his father was. He returned home. Now pay attention to the father's reaction. The father represents your own wonderful human imagination, your I am. When the son returned in rags, did the father say, look at you, you are a disgrace? Did he say, you have lost everything? No. The father ran to meet him. He put the best robe on him. He put a ring on his finger. He killed the fatted calf. The father acted as if the son had never been lost. He acted as if there was nothing to forgive. He restored him instantly to his royal status. This is how you must treat yourself. You may have wasted years in depression or failure. You may be wearing the rags of poverty or sickness right now. But the moment you return to your imagination, the moment you dare to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, your inner father rushes to meet you. He does not judge you. He does not ask where you have been. He simply clothes you in the robe of your new state. He puts the ring of authority on your finger. You must accept this restoration. You must not argue for your limitations. You must not say, but I have sinned, but I have failed. That is the old man talking. The new man accepts the robe. The new man accepts the ring. You must act as if you have never failed. You must walk with the dignity of one who has always been successful. This is what it means to have nothing to lose. You have dropped the baggage of the past, and you are standing naked and receptive before the abundance of the now. You may ask, but Neville, how can I ignore the facts? The bank account is empty. The diagnosis is on the paper. The person has left. How can I act as if this is not true? I tell you that facts are not the truth. Facts are the crystallized shadows of your past creative acts. They are the footprint of where you were yesterday. If you continue to focus on the facts, you are walking backward into the future, stepping into your own old footprints. To change your life, you must ignore the facts and embrace the truth. The truth is your desire. The truth is the vision you hold in your heart. You must deny the evidence of your senses. Your senses are liars. They tell you that you are separate from your good. They tell you that you are a mortal body fighting for survival. But your imagination tells you that you are infinite. You must learn to trust your imagination more than you trust your eyes. This is the definition of faith. Faith is not believing in something that does not exist. Faith is perceiving the reality that exists in the mental realm before it becomes visible in the physical realm. Imagine for a moment that you are an actor on a great stage. For years you have played the role of the victim. You have memorized the lines of complaint. You have perfected the posture of defeat. You have worn the costume of lack. And you have played it so well that everyone believes you are the victim. Even you believe it. But now the director, who is your higher self, hands you a new script. The title of this script is The Victor. In this new role you are commanding, you are radiant, you are wealthy, and you are loved. The director says, take this script and play this part. Now what do? Do you say, I cannot play this part because I have been playing the victim for so long? Do you say, I need to wait until the audience gives me permission? No. You simply drop the old script and pick up the new one. You put on the new costume. You start speaking the new lines. At first it may feel strange. You may stumble over the words, but you keep playing it. You keep rehearsing. And soon the old role fades from your memory and the new role becomes your second nature. You must realize that you are not the character, you are the actor. You have nothing to lose but the character you are tired of playing. Why do we cling to our suffering? Why do we hold on to our limitations as if they were precious treasures? Because they give us a sense of identity. We know who we are when we are the person with the problem. We get sympathy, we get attention. We have an excuse for why we are not happy. To act as if you have nothing to lose means you must be willing to give up the secondary gains of your misery. You must be willing to be happy, even if it makes others uncomfortable. You must be willing to be wealthy, even if your friends are poor. You must be willing to be healthy, even if your family bonds over discussing illness. You must leave the tribe of the suffering and join the tribe of the sovereign. This takes courage. It takes a brazen impudence. You must dare to assume a state that your world denies. You must walk into the bank with the feeling of a millionaire, even if you are depositing $10. You must walk into the doctor's office with the feeling of vitality, even if you are in pain. You are not lying to the doctor, you are telling the truth to the universe. Consider the story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho. The walls represent the obstacles in your life that seem solid and immovable. They represent the debt, the disease, the conflict. Joshua was told to march around the walls for 6 days in silence. This is the period of incubation. This is the time when you ignore the problem. You do not try to knock the walls down with your hands. You do not fight the problem on its own level. You simply encircle it with your high watch. You observe it, but you do not react to it. You deny it the power of your fear. And on the seventh day, the day of completion, the day you fully accept your desire is done, Joshua commanded the people to shout, and the walls came crumbling down. They did not crumble because of the volume of the shout. They crumbled because of the vibration of the assumption. The shout was the physical release of the internal conviction. You must march around your problems in the silence of your conviction. Do not complain about them. Do not analyze them. Just keep your eye on the vision of the victory. And when the moment of ripeness comes, the obstacle will dissolve as if it were made of smoke. This leads us to the mystery of time. You think there is a delay between your assumption and its fulfillment. You ask, how long must I wait? I tell you that the time it takes is directly proportional to the naturalness of the feeling. If it feels unnatural to be wealthy, it will take a long time. If it feels natural, it can happen in the twinkling of an eye. The delay is not in the universe. The delay is in your own resistance. You are keeping your good away by your feeling of separation from it. To act as if you have nothing to lose is to collapse time. It is to live in the eternal now. There is no future. The future is just a projection of the now. If you are waiting for the future to bring you happiness, you will wait forever because you are always in the now. You must bring the feeling of the future into the present. You must feel the joy of the marriage now. You must feel the relief of the debt paid now. When you do this, you are pulling the fourth dimension into the third dimension. You are anchoring the invisible into the visible. Let us speak of the feeling. I do not mean emotion in the sense of hysterical excitement. I mean the feeling of knowing. It is the feeling you have when you turn your key in your front door. You do not jump up and down and scream, I have a house. You simply open the door and walk in. It is natural. It is accepted. That is the feeling you must capture. The feeling of naturalness. You must assume your desire until it feels as ordinary as your morning coffee. When you can think of your big dream without a spike of anxiety or a desperate longing, when you can think of it with a quiet smile of possession, then you know you have succeeded. The spiritual seed has been planted, and once the seed is planted, you do not dig it up to see if it is growing. You water it with gratitude and you leave it alone. You go about your business knowing that the harvest is inevitable. You have nothing to lose but your limitations. Think about that phrase. What are you afraid of losing? Are you afraid of losing your worry? Are you afraid of losing your sleepless nights? Are you afraid of losing your sense of inadequacy? These are the only things you can lose. You cannot lose your true self, for you are God. You cannot lose your life, for life is eternal. You cannot lose your love, for love is the substance of the universe. All you can lose are the shadows that have obscured your light. So why do you hesitate? Why do you stand on the edge of the diving board, shivering in the cold? Jump into the ocean of your own assumption. The water is warm. The water is alive. It will catch you. It will support you. It will carry you to shores you have never dreamed of. I want to challenge you to a specific experiment. For the next 24 hours, I want you to suspend your judgment of appearances. No matter what happens, no matter what the news says, no matter what your bank balance says, I want you to act as if your desire were a done deal. If a bill comes, say thank you, I have the money. If a pain comes, say thank you, I am healing. If a disappointment comes, say thank you, this is clearing the way for something better. Refuse to accept the negative verdict. Be stubborn in your assumption. You are the king or the queen of your kingdom. A king does not accept a no from a servant. The facts are your servants. Command them. Do not beg them. Command them by your assumption. You will be amazed at how the world responds to this new authority. You will see things shift. You will see people change their tune. You will see luck turn in your favor. It is not magic, it is law. The illusion of loss is the greatest trick ever played on the human mind. It keeps you in a state of scarcity. It keeps you grasping and hoarding and fearing. But when you realize that consciousness is the only reality, you know that you can recreate anything. If you lost a fortune, you can recreate it because you have not lost the consciousness of wealth. In fact, you have gained wisdom. If you lost a love, you can attract a higher love because you have not lost the capacity to love. You are the generator. The world is just the light bulb. If the bulb burns out, you do not cry and say the light is gone forever. You get a new bulb. You are the electricity. You are the power. Never confuse the source with the object. The objects come and go, but the source remains. When you stand in this knowing, you are fearless. You can walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil because you know you are the light that casts the shadow. You must become indifferent to the shadows. This is what I mean by having nothing to lose. You become indifferent to the old story. You stop telling it to your friends. You stop replaying it in your mind. You let it die for lack of attention. And in its place, you plant the new story. You water the new story with your feelings. You feed the new story with your inner conversations. You protect the new story with your silence. And one day you look around and the new story has become your life. The old man is dead and the new man is living. This is the resurrection. It is not an event that happens after you die physically. It is an event that happens while you are alive. It is the resurrection of your dreams from the tomb of your doubt. So I invite you to take this leap. Act as if, fake it not to deceive others, but to convince yourself. Wear the feeling of the wish fulfilled like a new suit of clothes. Wear it until it fits. Wear it until it is worn out and you need a new and greater desire. You are a creator. Creating is what you do. It is who you are. Do not let the illusion of the world stop you from doing your job. Your job is to dream and to dare and to assume. Your job is to prove that God is man. So stand tall, breathe deep, and assume the state of the wish fulfilled. You have absolutely nothing to lose, and you have a universe to gain. The only question remaining is, are you brave enough to accept your own power? Are you brave enough to walk as if you are the one you have been waiting for? I believe you are. I know you are. Now go and prove it to yourself. Before we proceed to shatter the mirror of limitation in the next section, I want to invite you to make a solemn pact with your own potential. If you have walked this far with me, you are not here by accident. You are waking up. You are remembering your sovereignty. This channel is dedicated to the few who are ready to stop playing the victim and start being the creator. If these words resonate with your spirit, I invite you to subscribe to this community right now. By doing so, you are not just following a channel. You are signaling to your subconscious mind that you are committed to this path of mastery. We are building a legion of light here. Join us. And now, let us face the greatest adversary of all, the illusions of your own mind. We have laid the foundation of silence and we have begun to grasp the law of assumption, but now we must confront the adversary that stands between you and your kingdom. That adversary is not a person or a circumstance or a government or an economy. That adversary is the mirror of limitation. We arrive now at the precipice of true freedom where we must shatter the illusions that have bound you for lifetimes. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, seemingly infinite chasm where your heart races and your palms sweat and every instinct screams to retreat into safety, yet something within you whispers you can fly. This is the precipice of unlimited confidence. Have you ever wondered why some individuals soar effortlessly through life while others remain tethered to the ground fighting for scraps? The answer lies not in external circumstances or luck or destiny, but in the realm of consciousness itself. You see, the limitations we perceive are nothing more than illusions, self-imposed barriers that we have agreed to accept as real. What we perceive as the real hard world is merely a projection of our consciousness. Every experience and every interaction and every obstacle we face is filtered through the lens of our beliefs and expectations. The mirror reflects what you are, not what you want. And here lies the key to unlocking unlimited confidence, which is the realization that you are the architect of your own reality, and the mirror has no power of its own. Let us deconstruct this mirror of limitation. The mirror is the vast sensorium of your five senses. It is everything you see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. It is the news on the television and the balance in the bank book and the look on your neighbor's face. The great error of humanity is that we look into this mirror and we think we are seeing the cause of our life. We look at the reflection and say, I am poor because the mirror shows no money, or I am sick because the mirror shows a diagnosis. But I tell you that the mirror is only showing you the dead past. It is showing you the crystallized result of who you were yesterday and the day before. When you react to the mirror, you are trapped in a feedback loop. You see a limitation, you react to it emotionally. You impress that limitation back upon your subconscious, and the mirror reflects it again tomorrow. To shatter the mirror does not mean to physically break the world. It means to withdraw your belief in its authority. It means you stop looking to the outside for confirmation of who you are. You must realize that the giant wall standing in front of you is made of smoke. It looks solid only because you are projecting the light of your belief upon it. How can this be? How can the solid world be a projection? Consider the nature of a film projector. Inside the machine there is a light. That light passes through a slide or a film strip. The image is then thrown onto a screen. The screen is the world. The film strip is your state of consciousness. The light is your I am. If you do not like the movie that is playing on the screen, it is madness to run up to the screen and try to scrub off the characters. It is madness to yell at the screen. You must go back to the projector. You must change the film. The mirror of limitation is simply the screen showing you a movie of limitation. But you are the projectionist. You have forgotten that you are in the control room. You have fallen asleep in the theater, and you think the drama is real. You are terrified by the monsters you yourself are projecting. You are limited by the walls you yourself have drawn. The shattering of the mirror is the awakening of the projectionist. It is the moment you realize that you can change the slide. Let us delve into the psychology of why we accept limitations. We are conditioned from birth to believe in our own powerlessness. We are told by parents and teachers and society that there are rules we must follow, that resources are scarce, and that we must compete to survive. We are taught to be realistic. But I tell you that being realistic is the fastest road to mediocrity. The great achievers of history, the mystics and the artists and the inventors, were never realistic. They were unrealistic. They refused to accept the mirror. When the mirror showed them a world without flight, they imagined airplanes. When the mirror showed them a world without light, they imagined electricity. They shattered the mirror of the present facts to create a new future. You have this same power. The limitations, you feel the feeling that you are not good enough or smart enough or young enough, are simply hypnotic spells. You have been hypnotized by the world. You are like a mighty elephant tied to a small wooden stake. The elephant could easily snap the rope and walk away, but because it was tied up when it was a baby and could not break free, it believes it is still trapped. You are that elephant. The rope exists only in your mind. The key to shattering this mirror is to shift your identity from the object to the subject. From the created to the creator, from the thought to the thinker. Close your eyes for a moment even as you listen to my voice. Become aware of your thoughts. Watch them drift across the screen of your mind like clouds in the sky. Notice that there is a thought of doubt. Notice there is a thought of fear. Now ask yourself, who is noticing? Who is the one watching the thoughts? That observer, that silent awareness that is watching is not the thought. It is the space in which the thought is happening. That observer is your true self. That is the I am. And that observer is not limited. The thoughts say, I can't. But the observer simply, yes. When you identify with the observer, you detach from the limitation. You realize that the fear is just a cloud. It is not the sky. You are the sky. Vast, infinite, untouched by the storms. This shift in identity is the hammer that shatters the mirror. We must speak of the grand illusion of separation. The mirror tells you that you are a separate little body moving through a hostile world. It tells you that there are other people out there who can hurt you or stop you. This is the greatest lie. There is no out there. The world is contained within your consciousness. You are not a person in the world is in you. When you truly grasp this, the fear of others disappears. The need for validation disappears. Why would you need validation from your own reflection? Why would you fear your own projection? If someone is being difficult in your world, it is because you have projected difficulty upon them. You have cast them in the role of the villain. To shatter the limitation, you must withdraw the projection. You must see them differently in your own mind. When you withdraw the energy of conflict from your own heart, the conflict in the mirror must dissolve because it has no source to sustain it. This brings us to the state of unlimited confidence. True confidence is not arrogance. Arrogance is the ego trying to convince itself it is worthy. Arrogance is loud and brittle. True confidence is quiet. It is the natural state of the I am. Think back to a time when you were a child before the conditioning took hold. You did not doubt your right to be here. You did not question your worth. You simply were. That state of natural beingness is still within you, buried under layers of false beliefs. To reclaim it, you do not need to learn something new. You need to unlearn the false. You need to strip away the mask. Unlimited confidence comes from knowing that you are the operant power. If you know that you are writing the script, why would you be nervous about the play? If you know you determine the outcome, why would you fear the process? Anxiety is simply the result of forgetting that you are the creator. When you remember who you are, anxiety transforms into excitement. How do we maintain this state when the mirror is screaming at us, when the bank account is overdrawn and the pain is real? We must anchor ourselves in the eternal now. The mirror shows you the past. It shows you the results of yesterday's thinking. If you react to it, you are perpetuating the past. You must learn to live in the now, but not the sensory now, the imaginational now. In your imagination, it is always. Now, you can close your eyes and be in a mansion. Now, you can be healthy. Now, you can be loved. Now, the subconscious mind does not know the difference between a physical fact and an imaginal act. When you dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled in the now, you are impressing the subconscious with a new reality. You are creating a new slide for the projector. You must ignore the evidence of the senses. This is the supreme discipline. To look at the empty pot and see it full. To look at the closed door and see it open. This is not madness, this is mastery. This is how miracles are performed. Let us try an experiment in perception. Think of a limitation you currently believe is real. Perhaps you think you are too old to start a new career. Look at that thought. I am too old. Now ask yourself, is that a truth or is that a belief? Who told you that? Is it a law of physics like gravity? No. It is an agreement you made. You agreed to believe that age is a barrier. Now break the agreement. Say to yourself, I withdraw my consent from this belief. Imagine a world where age is an asset, where your experience is the very thing that is needed. Feel the shift in energy. The limitation was not in the age, it was in the definition of the age. You can reframe every limitation in your life. I am too old becomes I am making space for a new income stream. I am alone becomes I am preparing for a divine partnership. You are the meaning maker. Nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. If you give your circumstances the meaning of limitation, they will limit you. If you give them the meaning of opportunity, they will serve you. The mirror of limitation is held together by the glue of your attention. Whatever you pay attention to grows. If you focus on your pain grows. If you focus on your lack grows. To shatter the mirror, you must withdraw your attention from the unwanted. This is difficult because the senses are loud. They clamor for your focus. They say, "Look at this disaster. Look at this failure." You must be like a master of an unruly dog. You must call your attention away from the trash and place it on the beautiful. You must practice the art of indifference to the negative. This is not suppression. Suppression is pushing it down. Indifference is turning away. You simply do not give it the food of your life force. You starve the limitation and feed the possibility. When you stop looking at the limitation, it begins to fade. It loses its solidity. It becomes like a ghost, and eventually it vanishes. Consider the quantum nature of reality. Science tells us that matter is mostly empty space. What looks solid is actually vibrating energy. The observer affects the observed. When you observe your life with expectations of limitation, you collapse the wave function into a particle of limitation. You freeze the energy into a block. But when you observe your life with the expectation of magic, with the assumption of possibility, you liberate the energy. You allow it to rearrange itself. You are not moving against the current of reality. You are the ocean in which all possibilities swim. You are the quantum observer. When you change your observation, the universe must change its configuration. You are literally rearranging the atoms of your world with your thoughts. This is not metaphor, this is the physics of creation. There is a voice in your head that acts as the guardian of the mirror. It is the voice of logic, the voice of reason. It says, be practical. Look at the statistics. Who do you think you are? This voice is the inner dictator. It wants to keep you small and safe. To shatter the mirror, you must dethrone this dictator. You must realize that logic is the limitation. Logic can only deduce from what is known. It cannot perceive the new. Imagination is the power that transcends logic. Every breakthrough in human history came from someone who defied logic. You must be willing to be unreasonable. You must be willing to believe in the invisible more than the visible. You must be willing to walk by faith, not by sight. When the inner voice says, "It's impossible," you must reply, "It is done." Let us speak of the body. Many of you feel limited by your physical body, by pain, by weight, by age. The body is the most intimate part of the mirror. It reflects your most deeply held beliefs about yourself. But the body is not fixed. The body is a river of energy. Cells are dying and being born every second. You have a new body every few years. Why do you recreate the same sickness? Because you hold the memory of sickness. You expect the sickness. You identify with the sickness. To shatter this limitation, you must begin to identify with the blueprint of health that exists in your imagination. You must feel the vitality in your cells, even when they are tired. You must give thanks for your healing before it appears. You must speak to your body with love, not with criticism. Your body is a faithful servant. If you treat it like a master, it will enslave you. If you treat it with the authority of the Spirit, it will obey you. The shattering of the mirror is often accompanied by a feeling of vertigo. When you let go of your old definitions, you may feel like you are falling. You are losing your old identity. This can be scary. The ego wants to grab onto something solid. It wants to go back to the familiar prison. Do not go back. Trust the fall. You are falling into the arms of the infinite. You are falling into freedom. The old structures must crumble before the new ones can be built. If your life feels like it is falling apart, do not panic. It is just the mirror shattering. It is the breaking of the shell so the chick can be born. It is the breaking of the chrysalis so the butterfly can emerge. Celebrate the breaking. It means you are growing. It means the limitless you is pushing through the cracks. So I ask you today, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? What would you attempt if you truly believed in your own limitless potential? These are not idle questions. They are keys to unlock the door. When you answer these questions, you are stepping through the mirror. You are moving into the realm of the possible. Do not let the small voice of doubt stop you. That doubt is just a habit. It is an echo from the past. It has no power over you unless you give it power. You are the stopper and the stopped. You are the prisoner and the jailer. And you have the key in your pocket. The key is your imagination. Use it. Imagine your life without the limitation. See it clearly. Feel it deeply. Walk in that feeling. Sleep in that feeling. Eat and drink in that feeling. Do not look back at the mirror to see if it has changed. That is like pulling up the seed to see if it has rooted. Just know that it has changed because you have changed. The outer world is slow and heavy. It takes time to turn. But the inner world is instant. In the inner world, the mirror is already shattered. The limitation is already gone. You are already free. You are already whole. You are already abundant. Stand in that truth. Let the world catch up to you. Do not slow down for the world. As we conclude this section, I want you to feel the power rising in your spine. Feel the energy of the sovereign self. You are not a victim. You are a creator. The mirror is just glass. You are the hammer. You are the fire. You are the light. Nothing can stand against the power of an awakened consciousness. The illusion of limitation is just that, an illusion. It is a shadow puppet show. Turn on the light of your awareness and the shadows disappear. There is only light. There is only possibility. There is only the infinite I am, expressing itself as you. Break the mirror. Step through into the wonderland of your own potential. The time is now. The power is yours. I have a shocking truth to tell you, and it is a truth that, if you can accept it, will liberate you from the chains of your history instantly. You are dead. The person you think you are, the person you were yesterday, the person you were even 5 minutes ago no longer exists. That version of you is a memory trace, a ghost, an echo fading in the canyon of time. Yet you continue to carry the corpse of your past self around on your back. You continue to breathe life into its failures, its traumas, and its limitations. You are like a man who has been released from prison, but who insists on carrying the iron bars with him wherever he goes. The death of the old self is not a physical cessation of life. It is a psychological withdrawal of attention. It is the most vital act of the spiritual warrior. To be born again as the master of your fate, you must first be willing to die to the victim of your circumstances. You cannot drag the old man into the new world. The door to the kingdom of heaven, which is the state of your wish fulfilled, is too narrow for you and your baggage. You must drop the baggage. You must drop the old identity. You must enter naked and free. Society has conditioned us to believe that we are the sum total of our history. We are told that we are the result of our childhood, our education, our past mistakes, and our genetic heritage. We build a monument to this past, and we call it my personality. We defend it. We say, I am this way because my mother treated me this way, or I cannot be wealthy because I failed in business 10 years ago. I tell you, this is nonsense. It is a lie. It is the sleep of the soul. You are not a statue carved in stone. You are a river of liquid light. You are pure, unconditioned consciousness. You have no history other than the history you choose to remember and energize in this present moment. The past has no power over you unless you give it power by reacting to it now. You are who you assume you are right now. If you dare to assume you are great, the past must rearrange itself to support that greatness. If you assume you are a failure, the past will offer you evidence of your failure. You are the selector. You are the editor of the film. Let us enter the workshop of God, which is your own wonderful human imagination. This is the forge where reality is molten and malleable. Everything you see around you, this building, the clothes you wear, the technology you use, the very structure of your society was once only a fluid thought in a man's imagination. It had no physical substance. It was a dream, but someone persisted in that dream. Someone died to the reality where that thing did not exist and lived in the reality where it did. This is the secret of the ages. You must be willing to let the old self die completely. You cannot put new wine into old wineskins, for the skins will burst. You cannot hold on to your resentment and try to manifest love. You cannot hold on to your poverty consciousness and try to manifest wealth. They are oil and water. They cannot mix. You must pour out the old wine. You must empty the vessel. This emptiness is not nothingness. It is receptivity. It is the vacuum that draws in the new life. Every night as you go to sleep, you have a divine appointment with death. Sleep is the little death. It is the moment when you disconnect from the world of Caesar, from the senses, from the problems of the day. Most people take their old self into sleep with them. They fall asleep worrying, they fall asleep arguing, they fall asleep in the state of the victim, and so they resurrect the victim in the morning. They wake up, and the same problems are waiting for them like loyal dogs. I want you to practice the art of dying noble. Tonight, when you lay your head on the pillow, say to yourself, I am not that man. I am not that woman. That person who struggled today is dead. I bury him with respect, but I bury him. And then turn your attention to the new man, the man you want to be. Rise in your imagination as that person. Clothe yourself in his skin. Feel his confidence. Feel his peace. Fall asleep in that new identity. And by the law of life, you must resurrect as that person in the morning. The world will look different because you are different. This brings us to the greatest tool of transformation ever given to humanity, which is the pruning shears of revision. If you take nothing else from this masterclass, take this tool and use it daily. Revision is the ability to change the past. Now, the rational mind will say this is impossible, the past is done, the ink is dry. But the spiritual mind knows that the past is only a memory image existing in the present. And because it exists in the present, it can be altered. If you hold a memory of a failure and you feel the shame of it, you are keeping that failure alive. You are feeding it. You are telling the universe, I am a failure. And the universe must agree. But you can go back. You can rewrite the script. At the end of every day, review the events of the day. Do not review them as a passive observer helpless to change them. Review them as the writer and the director. If you had an argument with your spouse, rewrite the scene. In your imagination, hear them saying the words you wished they had said. Feel yourself responding with love instead of anger. If you received a rejection letter from a job, rewrite the scene. Open the envelope and see a letter of acceptance. Feel the thrill of the offer. Feel the gratitude. You must do this over and over until the imagined scene feels just as real as the physical one. You must displace the negative memory with the positive one. What happens when you do this? You are changing the seed. You are altering the cause. You are sending a new signal into the deep mind. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between the physical fact and the revised truth. It accepts the revision. And because the cause is changed, the effect in your future must change. The anger in your spouse will dissipate. The job offer will come from another direction. You have pruned the vine of your life. If you do not prune the vine, if you let the weeds of the past grow wild, your garden will be choked. You will live in a tangle of old thorns. But if you prune daily, if you revise daily, you keep the garden of your mind beautiful and productive. You are clearing the path for the new growth. This is how you break the cycle of karma. Karma is simply the law of cause and effect. By revising the past, you change the cause, and thus you escape the effect. You become free. Why is this death of the old self so terrifying? Why do we cling to our misery? Because it is familiar. We know who we are when we are the person with the problem. We have built an identity around our struggle. If I take away your struggle, who are you? This is the void that people fear. They are afraid that if they let go of the old self, they will be nothing. But I tell you that void is not empty. It is the womb of God. It is the space of infinite potential. When you let go of the limited little self, you fall into the arms of the infinite self. You become the ocean instead of the wave. You must be brave enough to be nobody so that you can become anybody. You must be willing to give up the sympathy of others. You must be willing to give up the stories you tell at dinner parties about how hard your life is. You must be willing to be happy. And surprisingly, many people are not willing to be happy because happiness requires responsibility. If you are happy and successful, you have no one to blame. You are the operant power. Let us speak of the I am signature. Every moment of every day you are signing a check in the bank of the universe. The signature on the check is your feeling of I am. When you say I am tired, you are signing a check for fatigue. When you say I am broke, you are signing a check for poverty. When you say I am unworthy, you are signing a check for rejection. And the bank of the universe, which is non-judgmental and infinitely wealthy, cashes every check without question. It gives you exactly what you have authorized. You have been signing checks for lack for years and wondering why your account is empty. Stop it. Tear up the old checks. Start signing new ones. Sign a check for I am wealthy. Sign a check for I am healthy. Sign a check for I am loved. Even if the physical world says you are overdrawn, sign the check anyway. Dare to stand on the promise. The funds are there in the spiritual realm. Your signature draws them down. You must become a spendthrift of your divine inheritance. Do not hoard your good in the future. Spend it now in your imagination. Claim it now. The resistance you feel is natural. It is the dying gasp of the old man. When you start to assume a new state, the old state will fight back. It will throw up doubts. It will point to the facts. It will scream, "Who do you think you are?" This is the battle of Armageddon. It is not a war fought on a battlefield in the Middle East. It is a war fought in the battlefield of your mind. It is the war between the old limiting beliefs and the new expanding truths. Do not fight the old man with violence. Do not hate yourself for having doubts. That only energizes the old state. Instead, treat the old self like a ghost that is fading away. Look right through it. Deny it the food of your attention. Starve it. If a thought of failure comes up, do not fight it. Just say, "I remember when I used to think that way, but I am no longer that person." Use the "I remember when" technique. It places the negative state in the past. I remember when I was poor, but now I am rich. I remember when I was sick, but now I am whole. This creates a bridge of time between the old and the new. It acknowledges the change. Transformation is a form of suicide. Not physical suicide, which is a tragedy and an escape, but psychological suicide, which is a triumph and a victory. You must kill the psychological pattern that is keeping you small. You must execute the inner tyrant. This sounds violent, but it is actually an act of supreme love. You are loving yourself enough to set yourself free. Think of the caterpillar. For the butterfly to be born, the caterpillar must dissolve. It enters the chrysalis and its entire structure melts into a soup of cells. It loses its shape. It loses its identity. If the caterpillar could speak, it would say, "I am dying." But the spirit of the butterfly knows, "I am becoming." You are in the chrysalis right now. That confusion, you feel that uncertainty, that feeling that your world is falling apart, is simply the melting of the caterpillar. Do not panic. Do not try to glue the caterpillar back together. Let it go. Trust the process. The wings are forming. The flight is imminent. The world is a mirror. It has no choice but to reflect your face. If you frown at it, it frowns back. If you smile, it smiles. You cannot change the reflection by scrubbing the glass. You must change your face. You must change your consciousness. This rebirth is a change of face. It is a change of attitude. It is a change of the fundamental feeling of existence. The new man does not react to the world. The new man acts upon the world. The new man does not wait for the news to be good. The new man makes the news good by his reaction to it. The new man walks with the authority of the Creator. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is knowing that you and the Father are one. And when you are one with the Father, you are one with the power that spins the galaxies. How do we know when the old self is truly dead? You know it when you can look at your past without emotion. When you can remember the traumas and the failures and feel nothing but a detached understanding. The sting is gone. The poison is gone. It is just a story in a book you once read. When you no longer react to the same old triggers, you know you have been reborn. If someone insults you and you feel no anger, you are free. If a bill comes and you feel no fear, you are free. This emotional freedom is the true sign of the rebirth. It is the peace that passes understanding. It is the Sabbath. The work is done. You are resting in the new state. You must be persistent. The old self is tricky. It will try to sneak back in through the back door. It will disguise itself as being realistic or being practical. It will say, be careful, don't get your hopes up. Do not listen to this voice. It is the voice of the grave. Get your hopes up, raise them as high as the heavens. Why should you settle for a mediocre life when you have the power of God within you? Be unreasonable in your demands. Be extravagant in your assumptions. The universe is not running out of good. There is no shortage of love or money or health. The only shortage is in your capacity to receive. And you expand your capacity by killing the small self and birthing the big self. Let us talk about the vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you empty yourself of the old negative thoughts, you create a space. If you do not fill that space with positive new thoughts, the old ones will rush back in 7 times stronger. This is a spiritual law. You cannot just stop thinking negative thoughts. You must replace them with positive acts of imagination. You must occupy the house. You must fill your mind with noble concepts, with beauty, with gratitude. You must feast on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not leave your mind empty for the demons of doubt to inhabit. Keep it filled with the light of your new ideal. Read inspiring words. Listen to uplifting music. Visualize your success. Keep the vibration high. This is the maintenance of the new self. It requires vigilance. It requires love. This rebirth is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process. You are always dying and being born. Every moment is a choice. Am I the old man or the new man? Am I the victim or the creator? You must choose again and again until the choice becomes automatic. Until the new man is the only man. This is the journey of the soul. It is the return of the prodigal son. It is the awakening of the sleeper. And you are doing it. Right now, by listening to these words, by accepting these truths, you are participating in your own resurrection. You are rolling away the stone from the tomb. You are stepping out into the garden of the morning. The air is fresh, the light is bright, and you are free. Do not look back. Remember Lot's wife. She looked back at the burning city of Sodom and she turned into a pillar of salt. Salt is a preservative. She was preserved in her past. She was frozen in her memory of destruction. Do not look back at your old life. Do not analyze why it went wrong. Do not try to fix the past on the physical level. Turn your back on it. Look forward. Look inward. Keep your eyes on the prize. The prize is the expansion of your own being. The prize is the realization of God in you. Let the dead bury the dead. You follow the life. You follow the vision. You are unstoppable because you are the ocean in which all possibilities swim. The waves may crash on the surface, the storms may rage, but deep down in the depths there is silence and power. Connect with that depth. That is where the new self is born. It is born in silence. It is born in faith. It is born in the absolute conviction that I am, that I am. Stand in that name. Wear that name. And watch the world bow before you. Watch the Red Sea part. Watch the manna fall from heaven. Watch the water turn to wine. These are not miracles for the special few. These are the natural signs that follow the one who has dared to die and be born again. So, I ask you today, are you ready to sign the death certificate of your old limitation? Are you ready to hold the funeral for your fear? It is a joyous funeral. It is a celebration of liberation. Let it go. Let it all go. And open your arms to the magnificence of who you really are. You are the sovereign self. You are the light of the world. Shine. Shine so brightly that the shadows have nowhere to hide. This is your destiny. This is your duty. This is your joy. The old is finished. The new has begun. Walk in it. Live in it. Be it. We have arrived at the summit of our journey together. We have explored the architecture of silence. We have mastered the law of assumption. We have shattered the mirror of limitation. And we have held the funeral for the old self. Now we stand at the threshold of the final mystery, which is the ultimate embodiment of your sovereign power. Everything we have discussed up to this moment has been preparation. It has been the clearing of the ground and the sharpening of the tools. But a tool is useless if it sits on the shelf, and a cleared field yields no harvest if the seed is not planted and the crop is not gathered. This final section is not about learning more concepts. It is about being. It is about crossing the line that separates the student from the master and the seeker from the finder. We are moving from the realm of theory into the realm of visceral experience. You must understand that knowing the law is not enough. You can memorize every lecture ever given on metaphysics. You can recite the law of assumption backwards and forwards, but if you do not embody it, you remain a librarian of truth rather than a liver of it. The menu is not the meal. You cannot nourish yourself by reading the description of the food. You must eat. You must digest. You must become. This is the stage of integration where the separation between you and your desire completely dissolves. In the previous stages, there may have still been a subtle feeling of I am here and the desire is there and I'm using a technique to get it. But in the ultimate embodiment, that distance collapses. You realize that you do not attract what you want. You radiate what you are. The magnet does not try to attract iron. It simply is magnetic, and the iron has no choice but to respond. You must become the magnet. This requires a shift in your fundamental feeling of existence. We are talking about the feeling of naturalness. This is the secret key that unlocks the door to instant manifestation. A desire is only realized when it feels natural to you. As long as your dream feels like a miracle or something huge and far away, it will stay away because you are affirming the distance. You are telling the universe, this is too big for me. But to the sovereign self, nothing is big. $1 million is as natural as a penny. Perfect health is as natural as breathing. A loving relationship is as natural as your own heartbeat. You must wear your desire until it feels like an old, comfortable pair of shoes. You don't look at your shoes and say, oh my God, look at these shoes. You just wear them. They are a part of you. How do we achieve this naturalness? We achieve it through the practice of thinking from. Most people think of their goals. They look at the goal as an object in the future. They analyze it, they hope for it, they worry about it. This keeps the goal in the future. To embody the state, you must think from the goal. You must position your consciousness inside the fulfilled desire and look back at the world from that vantage point. Imagine you are in New York City thinking of London. You see London in your mind's eye across the ocean. That is thinking of. Now imagine you are in London. You see Trafalgar Square around you. You feel the London mist. You think of New York as being across the ocean behind you. That is thinking from. You have moved your center of gravity. You must move your center of gravity into the state of the wish fulfilled. You must view your current problems from the perspective of having already solved them. From the top of the mountain, the valley looks different. From the state of wealth, the bill looks different. From the state of health, the body feels different. Now, I want to guide you into a deep immersion. This is the heart of our work today. I want you to stop doing whatever else you might be doing if it is safe to do so. Sit comfortably or lie down. Close your eyes. We are going to perform the great act of psychological relocation. We are going to move out of the state of lack and into the state of sovereignty. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. With each breath, feel the weight of the physical world dropping away. The noises of the room are fading. The concerns of the day are dissolving. You are entering the velvet darkness of your own inner being. This darkness is not empty, it is pregnant with infinite possibility. It is the womb of creation. In this silence, you are no longer a name, you are no longer an age, you are no longer a job title. You are simply I am, pure awareness, formless and free, resting in this deep ocean of self. From this place of pure potential, I want you to select the version of yourself you desire to be. Do not be modest. Do not be reasonable. Be magnificent. Who is the sovereign you? Is that person wealthy? Is that person loved? Is that person a healer, a leader, a creator? Bring that version of yourself before your mind's eye. But do not just look at him or her. Step into that body. Slip into that skin like you are putting on a glove. Feel the fingers of your imagination filling the fingers of that ideal self. Feel your posture change. Feel your spine lengthen. Feel the dignity and the power that radiates from this new you. You are now inside the state. You are looking out through the eyes of the master. Now looking through these new eyes, where are you? Construct a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it simple. Make it vivid. Perhaps you are sitting in the office of your new business. Perhaps you are walking on the beach with your soulmate. Perhaps you are standing on stage accepting an award. Whatever it is, be there. Now engage your inner senses. This is crucial. The subconscious mind is impressed by sensory detail. Look around you in your imagination. What do you see? See the furniture, see the faces of friends, see the colors. Make them bright. Make them solid. Now listen. What do you hear? Do you hear the sound of the ocean? Do you hear the voice of a friend saying, "Congratulations, I knew you could do it"? Hear that voice clearly. Hear the intonation. Hear the joy in their voice. Now touch something. This is the sense of reality. Touch the desk. Is the wood smooth or rough? Touch the hand of your loved one. Is it warm? Feel the solidity of the object. When you touch it in imagination, you are anchoring the reality of it in your being. You are making it real. Now I want you to bring up the emotion. What is the dominant feeling of this new state? It is not excitement. Excitement implies you are surprised. It is not anxiety. The dominant feeling of the wish fulfilled is relief. Deep, profound relief. The battle is over. The struggle is done. You have arrived. Feel that relief washing over you like cool water. Feel the tension leaving your shoulders. Feel the knot in your stomach untying. It is done. You are safe. You are secure. You are abundant. Let that feeling of relief saturate every cell of your body. Bathe in it. This feeling is the chemical signal that rewires your biology and magnetizes your reality. You are signaling to the quantum field that the event has already happened. You are collapsing time. There is no future, there is only now. And in this, now you are the person you dreamed of being. Stay in this scene. Loop it. Replay it. Shake the hand of your friend again. Hear the congratulations again. Feel the relief again. Make it more real than the chair you are sitting on. The physical world is fading. It is a ghost. The imaginal world is the solid reality. You are digging a groove in the substance of the mind. You are paving a highway for the desire to travel on. Do not wonder how it will happen. The how is not your business. Your business is the what and the who. You have defined the what and you have become the who. The how is the business of the infinite intelligence that spins the planets. Trust it. It has ways and means you know not of. It can move mountains and part seas to get you to this scene. All it asks of you is to remain faithful to the end. Now, within this immersion, I want you to perform an act of gratitude. Gratitude is the seal of the promise. When you receive a gift, you say thank you. By saying thank you before the physical gift arrives, you are acknowledging that you have already received it in the spirit. Say to yourself, thank you, Father. Thank you for this abundance. Thank you for this healing. Thank you for this love. Feel the gratitude welling up in your heart. It is a sweet feeling. It is the feeling of being taken care of. It is the feeling of trust. This gratitude closes the circuit. It eliminates doubt. You cannot be grateful for something you do not have. So by being grateful, you are affirming you have it. You are walking in the state of it is done. As we prepare to come back from this immersion, do not leave the state behind. This is the mistake most people make. They treat their meditation like a vacation and then they return to the real world of their problems. Do not do that. Bring the state with you. You are not coming back to the old world. You are bringing the new world into the old one. You are overlaying the new template onto the old reality. When you open your eyes in a moment, the room may look the same, but you are different. And because you are different, the room must change. The circumstances must rearrange themselves to fit the new you. You are the operant power. You have shifted the slide in the projector. The movie must change. It is law. Open your eyes now. But keep the feeling. Look around you. Do not let the senses rule you. They are showing you the past. You are living in the future that is now the present. Walk through your day with this secret. You have a secret. You know who you really are. You know what is coming. Let that secret give you a smile. Let it give you a spring in your step. When problems arise, remember your secret. I have already seen the end. I have already felt the victory. This problem is just a shadow passing. This is the attitude of the sovereign self. You are not reactive, you are creative. You do not fight the shadows, you shine the light. This ultimate embodiment is a discipline. It is not something you do once and forget. You must practice it. You must practice the feeling of naturalness. You must practice thinking from the end. You must practice the revision. You must practice the silence. It is a way of life. It is the way of the master. Every time you fall out of the state, and you will fall out, simply notice it and gently bring yourself back. Do not judge yourself. Do not beat yourself up. Just return. Return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Return to the assumption. Persistence is the key. The drop of water hollows out the stone not by force but by persistence. Your persistent assumption will hollow out the hardest obstacle and create a channel for your desire to flow. You must also understand the concept of the Sabbath. In the scriptures, God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh. The seventh day is the Sabbath. This is not a day of the week, it is a state of mind. It is the state of mental rest that comes after you have successfully impregnated the subconscious with your desire. When you have done the work in the imagination, when you have reached the point of conviction, when you feel the relief, you enter the Sabbath. You stop worrying. You stop straining. You stop trying to force it to happen. You rest. You know it is done. You go about your life with a quiet confidence. If you are anxious, it means you have not entered the Sabbath. It means you do not believe it is done. Go back to the silence. Go back to the immersion. Do it until you feel the rest. The rest is the proof of the pregnancy. The spiritual seed has taken root and it will grow in its own time. You are now a different person than you were when we started this masterclass. You have the knowledge. You have the tools. You have the experience. The old self is dead. The victim is buried. The sovereign self is awake. You are standing on the peak of the mountain. The air is clear. The view is infinite. You realize that you are not a small body struggling in a big world. You are the vast consciousness in which the world exists. You are the dreamer, and the dream is yours to command. You have the power to select any reality you choose. You have the power to bless. You have the power to heal. You have the power to prosper. It is all within you. It has always been within you. You just needed to remember. So go forth from this place. Go forth not as a beggar asking for crumbs, but as a king or a queen claiming your kingdom. Walk with dignity. Speak with authority. Love with generosity. The world is waiting for you. The world is waiting for your command. The atoms are waiting to arrange themselves around your assumption. Do not keep them waiting. Live your life as the masterpiece it was meant to be. Live your life as the sovereign self. The time for sleep is over. The time for waking is now. It is done. It is finished. And so it is. As you move forward into your new life, remember that you are never alone. The power that created the universe is your constant companion because it is your very self. Trust that power. Lean on it. Speak to it. Listen to it. It will never fail you. It has never failed anyone who dared to trust it completely. You are the beloved of the universe. All that the Father has is yours. Take it. Use it. Enjoy it. And let your life be a shining testament to the truth that sets men free. You are the architect. You are the operant power. You are the I am. You now hold the blueprint of your freedom, but remember, a blueprint cannot build a house. You must build it. I encourage you to listen to this masterclass again. For each time you listen, you will hear something new that was hidden from you before. If this message has served you, share it with someone who needs to be reminded of their power. Be a light bearer. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a step on this journey. I ask you to leave a comment below declaring your new reality. Simply write, I am, followed by your chosen state. Let your word be the first brick in your new castle. Go now and live as the sovereign self. Thank you for watching.